Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and welcome to part 3 of our Final Fantasy XIV Online calm slash sleepy time playthrough with Julia Capicola, our Fima Vieira, Arcanist currently, who is level 12. We have just finished the Summerford Farms quest line where we spoke with trying to remember his name. Staleworm, and we worked a couple of quests for him as he tried to assimilate the pirates into an honest life. And then we were able to kind of investigate one of the pirates who seemed to be stealing, working with another group known as the Serpent Reapers. And we were, kind of battling the Serpent Reapers, or we're going to battle the Serpent Reapers when a cloaked character with a weird glowy mask summoned a clay golem, kind of interrupted that whole deal, and we were able to defeat the clay golem and show kind of how powerful we are, I guess, to this cloaked individual. At the same time that we were able to kind of create a redemption story for the pirates that were working for Summerford Farms, and they're going to kind of live a life of honesty, I guess, moving forward. So we've gone back to Limsa and spoken with Bateron, and we're ready for the next part of this quest line. I think what we're going to do first is we're going to do the Arcanist level 10 quest, and then we'll get back on the main story quest. So let's go ahead and load in and get started. Okay, what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to take this quest and then I'm going to just hold on to it until I finish the Arcanist quest, so I don't have to come back here. So Bateron, Sky High. Bateron, the proprietor of the Drowning Winch, has a suggestion to put you on the road towards new adventures. And it appears that we will get a new pair of ants for this, so let's go ahead and accept. How do you fare, Julia? Rested and ready to expand your horizons? Well then, I have an idea of where you might try heading next. Have you heard of the Skylift out in Middle Lanosia? If you've ever visited Woad Whisper Canyon, then you must have been up and down the thing at least once. It's that big bleeding scaffolding attached to the descent. You've likely seen the lads and lasses out there using it to haul cargo up the cliff face. Hard labor that, and I hear they use it in Enterprise and Soul to pick up the odd jobs, what no other buggers has time to deal with. Track down the lead of the operation, bloke by the name of Work It, and you'll be sure to put you on a task or two. Okay, so I did kind of see that when we went to the Serpent Reaper battle. It kind of reminded me of a It kind of reminded me of a Timu wall from Game of Thrones. Let's go to the Arcanist Guild and get the quest. Alrighty. Alright. Thuergeim. Acting Guildmaster Thuergeim wishes to assess the improvement of your Arcanima skills. Yes, Julia, time for your next lesson is upon us. You are keeping well, I trust. Taking the occasional brisk walk, one cannot form sound thoughts if one fails to maintain a sound body. Now, assuming you've been following Kalia's instructions, you should be ready to face the more dangerous threats found in western Lanosia. I speak of roselings and wild jackals, and yes, I would have you vanquish 3 of each. 'Tis the perfect sample size. The first acts as a preliminary test case, the second to test your hypothesis, and third to perfect the tactics you've devised. Speaking of which, I trust your strategy will consist of more than just simply flinging ruin over and over again. You are not the novice you once were, and your skills in the field ought to reflect that. If you find yourself wanting for other approaches, consider an assault with ruin in tandem with attacks from your carbuncle. When timed properly, you can create a crippling blow to your opponent. Yeah, but I can... Resurrection... Energy drain... I mean, if we're being honest... I need to move something real quick. HUD layout. This is gonna go like right there. If we're being honest, why would I do anything different? All right, so how do I get to Western? Can I get to Western? Oh, I have to go to Middle. Oh, okay, that's great. Let's go ahead and travel to Summerford Farms, and then we can run to Western Thailand. Alright, bunny. Ooh, a chocobo keep. I want to ride a chocobo. Only to Limsa. That was a chocobo porter. Chocobo Sam Porter Bridges. Well, I guess if I'm gonna walk right by Work It, I may as well. Is this thing... Are they filling this thing up quick? They are. No, don't do it. I did too. You're welcome. Alright. Here's the wall. I guess this side of the wall. That's where we're looking. That's a big crab. Look how big that crab is. Are these serpents from my hunter log? Oh no, it's the same things. Never mind. Just jump down. Never mind. We can't. Alright, Work It. Baderon sent you out here, lad. Sent you out here, did he? Then consider yourself welcome at the Skylift. Look at that bloody cliff, will you? One blast of fiery hell from that huge dragon was all it took to split the ground in half. Cargo still needs to go through, though, so this mess of wooden pulleys was our solution to the problem. Well, one of them, at least. If the gods were kind, And they ain't. I'd have at least a dozen more workers to handle me growing list of headaches. I mean, it's kind of underwhelming. I mean, it could have been a lot higher, but okay. Work at a skylift operator needs you to recover a cargo load abandoned by terrified wagon driver and deliver it to its intended recipient. Glad I am to see you again, lass. A wagon driver just returned in a great bloody hurry, screaming about some monstrosity what sprang out from a million corn seedling in his cargo. Seems the gustle bastard tossed it over the side, or turning tall and running for his life. I need you to head down the road, recover that seedling, and deliver it to Leolf over at Swift Perch in western Lenosia. Whatever he pays for the cargo is yours to keep. After all, I don't rightly know what else is lurking inside that plant, and you deserve to be rewarded for your troubles. Oh, and you'll find an aetheryte in Swift Perch, so the journey should be worth your while. Oh, okay, so I gotta go over here. This is all kind of lining up. This is nice. This is really nice. I'm glad we did this. Did that big crab die already? Here's it did. Ooh, look at that big bee. No, thank you. A wild jackal. One wild jackal down. We're kind of doing two things at once. Okay. That seemed easy enough. A million corn seedling. It's not a million corns. It's a million corn. So the only thing keeping the million corn from being picked up by anybody were these slugs. I mean, they're rather large slugs, but at the end of the day, they're fucking slugs. I can just whack it with my book. Alright, let's go ahead and kill the Chupacabra. That should be enough damage to get us to gold. Silver. There's a roseola out there somewhere we need to find. I just don't know where.
We made it here. Oh.
This guy's pretty big.
Oh, he doesn't hit that hard. I don't really know how to play this class. I'm very confusing. I'm gonna heal myself.
That's a lot of damage.
I don't really know how the carbuncle piece works. Whack it with the book, I guess. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and attune to Swift Perch before we go back. Ooh, lightning sprite. Let's do it. Don't mind if I do. Chocobo Keep to crush your enemies. What is that? Defeat 100 enemies. Quite the milestone. Alright, Leulf, has Nemea herself forsaken this desolate land? Though I understand there were risks in gambling my entire fortune on a crop of million corn. At least I expected the seedling to be delivered before the disaster struck. Well, here's your million corn. Is that my million cord ceiling? Oh, joyous day. It may seem a paltry beginning, but the yield of this particular variety of crop plant is nothing short of astonishing. As you have undoubtedly noticed, Swift Perch lacks a certain, shall we say, vital energy. Thus I meant to restore a modicum of hope to its residents by growing a veritable ocean of corn. You, madame, seem fit to burst with vim and vigor. May I persuade you to abide a while and help nurture this ailing settlement? Sure, why not? Let me just pick out my little outfit. Ah, yes, I look quite stunning. Alright, Freyloaf. Freyloaf, a yellow jacket on guard duty in Swift Perch, wants you to visit the Brewer's Beacon and investigate the reason behind the waning light. You there, adventurer. Cast your eyes towards the Brewer's Beacon. Does the light not seem uncommonly weak? It cannot possibly be bright enough to guide the ship sailing in the bay. I would march over to the lighthouse and investigate myself, but I am duty-bound to remain at my post. I would consider it a favor if you could make a visit to the Brewer's Beacon and see if aught has befallen Can Swiss, the lighthouse keeper. Alright. Now we need to return to the waking... the Lominsa. Whoa, there's a lot of people here. Welcome back, Julia. How did it feel to conquer such ferocious foes? Let us ride that wave of triumph onto an even more demanding and dangerous challenge. Your next training exercise will have you accompanying Forseer Kalia on one of her inspections. This experience will afford you the opportunity to witness firsthand the practical application of Arcanima. Pray do not tarry, Julia. Kalia awaits you on the floor below with further details. Okay, let's go down the stairs. Where is Julia? Found you. Oh wait, Kalia. A timely appearance, as I expected. Shall we proceed directly to the job at hand? I have been tasked with examining the wares of a goblin peddler caravan run by the Boylstocks family. Our agents suspect these beastmen merchants are dealing in forbidden goods. As such, I have calculated that announcing an inspection has a 60% chance of inviting physical violence. I have prepared a strategy to respond to this possible shift into hostilities, but there is an important precondition you should be made aware of before we discuss the finer points of my plan. Though I am considered gifted in the formation of tactics, I lack the reflexes and coordination necessary to employ many of those same self-strategies on the field of battle. Pray keep this factor in mind and adjust your perceptions accordingly. Now, should the goblins offer battle, you are to execute Combat Pattern 1345, otherwise known as Stratagem Focus Fire. You and your carbuncle will concentrate your attacks on a single foe, and one by one the enemy will wither under the combined onslaught. Probability of victory, 95%. Reports place the peddlers in the vicinity of the cookpot in Middle Enosia. I will depart immediately to assess the situation. Seek me out once you arrive. It's it's low, right? Looks like it's lower. Alright, Kalia. Ooh, well, it's a duty, so I'm assuming we're going to be fighting here.
I am Foreseer Kalia of Milvan's Gate. You are to seize all transactions and surrender your goods for inspection. Nasty sneaky peekers. Gobby spit Uplander nosy eyes on stabby iron. Whatever that fucking means. A predictably aggressive response. Very well, Julia. Remember what we discussed. Operation Focus Fire. One by one. Let's kill the Picaroon. Okay. Evasive maneuvers. Okay. What do they shoot firecrackers at me? Your combat style gives me an idea. I must formulate a new tactic. The battlefield is yours. Thanks, but no thanks, dude. Like, you trying to tell me that I'm out here just battling it up and you're just like, see you later. Got other shit to do. Seems not great. Alright, Kalia, what say you? Nicely done. Adaptation, improvisation. I might have been observing our beloved guildmaster himself in action. This was the perfect example of how the strategy of a given task should be tailored to the abilities of the assessor. In other words, before you begin formulating your tactics, it is necessary to fully understand your own strengths and weaknesses. On that note, there is another question I would ask you. When it comes to improving the probable success of a strategy, do you consider it more effective to concentrate on playing to your strengths or shoring up your weaknesses? Enhancing my strengths. Oh, again you respond as the guildmaster once did. I must revise the probability for your potential to attain greatness to 97%. You are one to keep an eye on. That much is certain. But to return to the subject of battle plans, your calculations must include an accurate assessment of your available techniques and their relative effectiveness. This requires you to be critically aware of your own limits, the limit of your allies, and the characteristics of your enemies. I believe that covers everything for today. Please return to the guild and make your report to Mistress Thuberheim. Until we next meet, I shall abide here until the Yellow Jackets arrive to take the peddlers into custody. My strategies will keep me company. Okay. Back from the field, Julia? Kalia contacted me with a summary of events. It seems you were treated to a lecture on knowing thyself. That particular lesson is ordinarily taught only to intermediate practitioners. Without a sufficient store of combat experience from which to draw, it is difficult to fully appreciate the profundity of such seemingly simple truth. Nevertheless, I am confident you will soon be ready for more ambitious assignment. Keep to your studies and maintain the razor edge of your mind.
One last thing, Julia. Considering the dedication you have shown towards our discipline, I have decided to permit you leave to explore the teachings offered by other guilds. I would suggest, however, that you first master the science of Arcanima. The strategic training you receive here will serve you no matter the path you eventually choose to walk. Return to me when your reason tells you the time is right. Which I'm assuming is another couple levels. Alright, let's do hat, gloves. Oh, we need gloves for the stats. Armory unlocked. You now have access to the armory system. Quests to unlock the other quests can be undertaken. Quests to unlock the other classes can be undertaken by speaking to the receptionist in the corresponding guild. There exists a myriad of disciplines and areas the adventurers can take up. For the most rewarding experience, however, it is recommended that you first focus on mastering your current class. Cool book. That's kind of fun. I like how the buckle kind of snaps on over. Alright, let's go back to Swift Perch. Oh, Maliko Whistle Thistles and Can Swiss. Hello there. You say a yellow jacket sent you here? Me light's grown dim, has it? Well, of course it bloody has. The bomb what fuels me furnace is up and buggered off, you see, and if I don't get that beacon fixed up soon, there'll be trouble on the water. I know you're just the messenger, lass, but I can tell an adventurer when I see one. I'm gonna need you to chase down that bomb and bring back a claw. What you ripped from its... Bring back a claw what you ripped from its smoldering corpse. Take this here iron brazier and set her down in the middle of the flock, somewhere near the scarecrow, I'd say. You'll get a nice fire going, and that frisky bomb will soon be about. Watch you don't singe your eyebrows, lass. Okay. I go over by the scarecrow. I start a fire. Bomb shows up. Blow the bomb up. Get the bomb loot. I bring the bomb back to the lighthouse. Which is really pretty cool. Check that out. Love that. Alright. That is Mrs. Incredible as a scarecrow. Alright. We'll get a nice fire going. Beautiful. Oh, there's the bomb. Wow. Now that was quick. Now we have to go back to Kanswees. Because we have the bomb claw. I mean, is this going to be brighter than that is now? It remains to be seen. Wait, what did he say? All you need to do is take down that runaway bomb and bring me one of its little claws. Oh, okay. And then I turn it in. Got it. Ah, you got the ashy bastard, did you? Once I put this little firecracker in the furnace, that should keep things running for a while. I had myself a bit of a look while you were gone, and Lim Lane cursed me if the furnace weren't all bent and broken. Small wonder the bloody bomb was able to escape. I patched things up as best I could, but I ain't no Smitty. You might want to have a chat with that yellow jacket friend of yours in Swiftperch, and have him pass the word back to someone in Limsa. Okay, so there's something wrong with the lighthouse, and we're gonna need a smithy to fix it. Makes sense. The furnace is damaged, is it? Very well. I shall write up the relevant reports, but these repairs must needs be effected without delay. It seems I have another favor to ask of you, adventurer. Take yourself straight away to the Armorers Guild in Limsa Lominsa and explain the situation to Forgemaker Nanza. Nanza. One second.
It's Hnanza. The furnace at the Brewer's Beacon needs repairs. Beer got speared. I just sent someone out to tinker with it not a week past. Mayhap the bomb Conswiss had trapped in there was a touch too volatile? I'll have an artisan visit the lighthouse and pay special attention to reinforcing the casing of that furnace. Your work is done here, adventurer. May the navigator guide you on your journeys. Helmet? On to the Drydocks. Forge Master Hanaja, head of Naldik and Vimelis, wants you to assist with the workload over at Moraby Drydocks. What say you to taking on some work from Naldik and Vimelis? We've a great hulking warship to build and could certainly use an extra hand for any number of tasks. For your first job, I need you to run this missive over to Otbjorn, the head shipwright at Moraby Drydocks. We forge most of the ship's bits and pieces here at the Armorers Guild, but the actual construction takes place at the docks found in the south of the lower Lanosia. That's also where you'll find the main offices of Naldik and Vimelis. The Moraby Drydocks is one of Limsa Lominsa's most important districts, at least as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure you'll not regret attuning yourself to the area's aetherite.
If you have no confidence in your sense of direction, you'll be best served making use of the chocobo porters, first floor of the mizzenmast, in case you were wondering. Should you choose to make the trek on your own 2 feet, leave the city through the Tempest Gate and follow the road south. May the navigator guide your steps. So it's just right there. That's the Tempest Gate. Literally just right here. Okay. I can Tempest Gate. I can just walk right out, right? Cool. And then what? There's the Drydocks down there. Run. Oh, this is where I first did my first quest. I killed wharf rats, ladybugs, and jellyfish. Wonderful. This is what the standard game looks like. Are we aware of this? This is what the standard game looks like. And then when you add a little bit of pizzazz, look at that. It doesn't change. Like, it doesn't make the game look weird. It just makes it look nice. Cleans her up, you know. Alright, Ocean's Embrace. I kind of enjoy this nice little run across the world. It kind of brings the world to life, if you will. Alright, so I believe this is the gate to the Drydocks. It should open. It does. This is like some kind of a lock system. Oh, hello, Chocobo Keep. We have found the aetherite. We're attuned. That is a massive ship. They were not kidding. It's Otbjorn. You have a missive for me for Forge Master Hananza. I assume it pertains to the pending arrival of the materials I ordered over a moon past. Let's see it then. Here is your missive. Blast and botheration. Another delay? I am well aware of the shortage of skilled artisans, but this is insufferable. My apologies. The messenger does not deserve to bear the brunt of my frustration. Might I have your name?
Well, I'm Julia Capicola. Julia, is it? Well, Julia, this proud maiden you see taking shape before you is the Victory, the first new vessel to grace the docks since the calamity. We may have lost the bulk of our ships that fateful day, but starting with this beauty, we will restore the Maelstrom's fleet to its former glory. The Victory is more than a simple warship. It is the symbol of Lominsa's rebirth from the wreckage wrought from the coming of the Seventh Umbral Era. Thus, we are striving to complete her construction as swiftly as possible, even going so far as to hire veteran shipwrights from outside the thalassocracy. Yet even with such unprecedented measures, there are never enough hands to handle the abundance of tasks. Should you choose to linger at the docks for a time, there is no end of odd jobs for a hard-working adventurer. Be you fair warned that there is no place for layabouts and troublemakers. Okay, boots. We'll wear the boots. Otbirm is looking for a member of his crew and the items he was supposed to deliver. Where in the seven hells is that man? Not once in the 12 moons has he been late with the shipment, and now 2 whole turns of the sun without a single word. A shipwright of mine, a young man named Firlsmid, recently left Candle Keep Quay to retrieve several crates of supplies ordered from Limsa, but has yet to return. I have sent several messages to Haldbroda, but his replies are always the same. He does not recall ever seeing the right nor the supplies he was scheduled to collect. That man knows something, and I severely doubt he is telling me the truth. As I cannot leave my post, I would ask you to travel to Candlekeep Quay in my stead and inform Haldbroda. If he insists on playing these games, I will personally see he is transferred to Turtleback Island, where he can rot alone in the middle of the sea for eternity. Alright, I'm going to do this. Wait. I will be right back. Okay, I have returned. While I play this game, I sometimes will find myself doing some, little choresy poos. And right now I am working on some laundry. Alright, can I get out this way? It appears I can. Crabs. Is there an up I can go? Where is this place? Oh. It's down. Oh, that's not good. I guess it could have been worse. It's how broad. Look at that mustache. Does that self-righteous dog Othbream doubt I've never told him anything less than the truth? You're gosh darn right. We are going to doubt you. Turtleback Island.
He cannot do that, can he? I swear on my poor Nana's grave, Navigator rest her soul, I know not of this Frizzlemid. Fearlesmid, nor his precious supplies. Hells, we here at the Quay have had enough trouble these past few suns. What with the sinking of that Lominsian cargo ship off the Salt Strand, I haven't had the time to take a proper piss, let alone take a note of every scrag that wanders off in the grip. I can do my next class one. Riding the shipwright. Now, the way I see it, if you have time to be standing here questioning my character, then you most certainly have the time to get that arse of yours down to the Salt Strand and help us search for survivors of the wreck. Who knows? You may just run across Fearlesmid and this Fearlesmid everyone seems so eager to find. Here's hoping the Navigator hasn't found him first. There he is. Hello, Fearlesmid. Hi, I'm Fearlesmid. You say the foreman's wondering about me whereabouts? I thought he might be, but you must know I cannot show me face at the Drydocks until I've righted the terrible wrong I've caused. 2 nights past, I made the trip to from the Drydocks to Candlekeep Quay, just as the foreman asked. The seas were right rough, and the captain of the cargo ship was weary of bringing her too close to the cliffs. So I paid a few coins to get a fisher to take me out to meet her. By the time we was halfway, twixt shore and ship, the swells had risen to nigh on 10 yalms, and 'twasn't long after the waves had hold of us. Try as we might to study the boat, nature's grip was too tight, and we was flung headlong into the Lominsian galley. When I awoke, both ships were gone, and the cargo I was to collect lay strewn across the Salt Strand. I's made every effort to salvage it, but the sands are crawling with quick queering, and I ain't one with the sword. And now ye see why I cannot return to the Drydocks. Okay, so I just have to kill the quick learns, pick up the things. Yeah, just kill the egg diggers. There's the brass helm wheel. Ooh, a beachcomber. What else do we have here? Tangled rigging. Carbuncle literally does nothing now. Why even have it? Oh, wow. The folded sailcloth. Alright, so now I should be able to, what am I doing now? 67, that's pretty good. It's up 17 damage than what it was a couple levels ago. Whatever you say, Egg Digger, you'll never catch me. You will never catch me, you will never catch me, la 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 la, la 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 la. Alright, Fearlesmid. That night I was tossed into the sea like some doll of rags. It weren't long before the world round me had faded to black as I slipped deeper into the abyss, but lo, the Navigator wouldn't see me to the gates of the 7 hells, and I awoke to find myself washed ashore, and here I've been ever since, waiting for a chance to salvage me master's cargo. Here it is.
The missing parts. I don't know how I can repay you. I'll deliver the supplies right away, but first, I must stop by the quay. So I might pay me respects to the widow of the brave fisher who gave his life for a handful of coin. Could you tell Otbrim that I'll be back to the Drydocks by nightfall? Many thanks, adventurer. I will not forget this kindness. I will let him know. Alright, Otbrim, I am relieved to hear that both Fierl's mid and his supplies are unharmed. I am relieved to hear that both Fierl's mid and the supplies are unharmed, though it was foolish for him to believe I would blame him for that which is obviously out of his hands. You see, there was no storm that day, and the seas here adjacent the Drydocks were as calm as a slumbering child. This leads me to believe that the trouble the ships encountered off of Candle Cape Quay was one of a less natural sort of which the Sahagan may have been known to conjure. Complete. Interesting. Alright. I'm going to break this off here at 1 hour and then upload another one at 1 hour. So, thank you, and we'll be on to part 4 shortly.